This one was personal. And you can feel that personal issue that Wendy just talked about with Nico Harrison on the sideline before the game, watching the two not address each other, that awkwardness. And when Luka made that three, there was a part of me, of course, that thought he was staring at the bench. There was also a big part of me that, you know, as somebody who's spiteful, and I call myself Petty LaBelle sometimes, and seeing how LeBron and Luka are that way too. Like it almost felt like Luka was searching for Nico Harrison. He was searching for management.
Boy, has he here. 5-point lead, 10 points for Luka.
A pregame warm-up. Here he is again. Is he hot? He's red hot! The Dons!
This is a shocking twist that no one saw coming. Luka Dončić, the heart and soul of the Dallas Mavericks, is now wearing the legendary purple and gold of the Los Angeles Lakers. A move of this magnitude shakes the entire NBA, but what's even? More shocking, the Mavericks seemingly let their generational superstar walk away without a clear reason. No contract standoff, no public trade demand. No major locker room fallout, yet Dallas still made the unthinkable decision to part ways with one of the most electrifying players in basketball. In the aftermath, head coach Jason Kidd attempted to downplay Luka's departure, trying to sell the idea that the Mavericks could still thrive without him. But can they? Let's take a closer look at what Dallas will look like post-Luka and whether they just made one of the biggest mistakes in franchise history.
Everybody will get more shots just because of the player that we traded. He was involved in everything.
As if getting a few more field goal attempts somehow justified throwing away. A generational playmaker, a leader, and the Mavericks' best chance at another championship. Not once did Jason Kidd even say Luka's name. Not once did he acknowledge what Luka meant to the team. It was as if Dallas was trying to erase his impact. Altogether, and if Kidd's response wasn't baffling enough, Mavs GM Nico Harrison took it to another level. While Kidd at least attempted to justify the trade, Harrison didn't even pretend to have an answer. When questioned about giving up Luka for Anthony Davis, he simply shrugged it off, offering no real explanation, no long-term vision, just a blank response that left fans in complete disbelief. How does a franchise let go of its greatest player without a fight? This wasn't just a trade, it was a surrender.
Same two teams, 2 nights from now in Salt Lake. Luka waltzes in, counted and one.
And I like the term so much under control as he gets in and he absorbs that contact. Got that big body.
Viral reports summed up the whispers from Mavs insiders, the people who had witnessed Luka's final days in Dallas. They painted a damning picture, calling him lazy, pointing to his weight issues, and even questioning his commitment to the game. Reports surfaced about his love for beer and hookah, with so-called insiders predicting that his body would break down within 5 years. This wasn't just criticism, it was a calculated effort to justify the trade. The Mavericks didn't just send Luka Dončić to the Lakers. They tried to make sure no one mourned his departure. But here's the reality. Luka had already proven himself. He had carried Dallas to an NBA Finals, put up historic numbers, and solidified himself as one of the most skilled players in the league. The Mavs didn't trade a problem, they traded away their best chance at another championship. And no amount of leaks or smear campaigns could change that. Luka's first game in a Lakers jersey wasn't just a debut, it was a warning shot to the rest of the league. From the opening tip, he controlled the floor, dictating the tempo like a maestro conducting an orchestra. Every possession ran through him, every decision was calculated, and every shot felt inevitable. He wasn't just playing, he was proving a point. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the entire NBA world was buzzing. Analysts, fans, and even former players couldn't believe what they had just witnessed. The Mavericks had given up a generational talent, and Luka Dončić was making sure they never forgot it. The so-called concerns about his conditioning, irrelevant. The whispers about his work ethic, silenced. The idea that Dallas was better off without him, laughable. This was just the beginning of Luka's revenge tour, and the league had been put on notice.
I told him this morning that I want at least one blackout episode where he's screaming indiscriminately at no one in particular because he's excited. Like, that means he's back. That's the Luka I know, the killer.
This was more than just a great debut. It was the arrival of the future face of the Lakers, and soon enough, the entire NBA. The Mavericks may have traded him away, but Luka Dončić wasn't about to fade into the background. No, he was going to haunt them. Then came what J.J. Redick would later call the blackout episode, a stretch of games where Luka reached a level of dominance that felt almost supernatural. The game slowed down for him, while defenses scrambled in. Vain step-back threes, automatic, unbelievable cross-court passes, pinpoint, finishing through contact, effortless. Defenders threw everything at him, double teams, physicality, even zone coverage. None of it mattered. Luka was locked in, and the game was entirely at his mercy.
Dribbling one-on-one against Michael Porter. Porter moving right. Luka shoots a 10-footer and even...
This wasn't just a hot shooting streak. This was a superstar reaching a level of dominance reserved for only a handful of players in NBA history, and with every game, the Mavericks' decision looked worse. Luka wasn't just excelling. He was playing like the best player in the world. Then came the moment that changed everything. A hard drive to the basket. Contact, no whistle, no foul. Most players would stop, throw their hands up, and plead with the refs. Luka. He powered through. Luka made the shot. Luka kept moving. No complaints, no distractions. Just pure, relentless determination. That single moment defined his mindset. He wasn't here for excuses. He wasn't here for sympathy. Luka Dončić was here to take over.
How legit are the Lakers' title chances? I mean, as far as, do they have a chance? Are they a legitimate contender? 1,000%.
Have ended badly. A hard shove midair, no attempt. At the ball, just pure frustration disguised as defense. Luka hit the ground hard, the crowd gasped, but before anyone could even process what happened, he was back on his feet. No complaints, no theatrics, just a cold, focused stare as he walked to the free throw line. And then, swish. Luka didn't just shake it off, he responded the only way he knew how, by taking over. Step-back threes, laser-sharp assists, finishing. Through double teams, Dunn and his team had awakened something they weren't ready for. This wasn't just about winning a game anymore. It was about proving a point. Luka Dončić wasn't just here to play. He was here to dominate players of this generation, but even he had to respect what Luka was doing. Harden had been in these moments before, big shots, trash talk, breaking down. Defenses, but this time he wasn't the one doing the damage. Luka was torching defenders with his signature step back, slicing through defenses with pinpoint passes, and finishing at the rim like a player who knew no one could stop him. The Mavericks might have tried to erase Luka, but the league was now witnessing something undeniable. They had just traded away the best player in the world, and Luka was making sure they never forgot it. Game-changing plays on both ends of the floor. Critics used to say Luka didn't defend. Now he's shutting down passing lanes, reading plays before they happen, and even taking on key defensive assignments when it matters most. And as for his offensive dominance, that hasn't gone anywhere. Whether it's step-backs over elite defenders, circus shots that defy logic, or pinpoint assists that leave opponents shaking their heads, Luka has made one thing clear. The Mavericks' mistake wasn't just trading him, their mistake was thinking they could stop him.
You got two of the greatest players in the world right now on the same team, two unselfish players that make everybody around them better. And it's not about just being ball dominant and crossing people over and going to get buckets. These dudes are getting everybody involved. They can score at a high clip. They have really good role players around them. They are contenders.
Luka Dončić's move to the Lakers wasn't just a blockbuster trade, it was the start of his revenge tour. The Mavericks may have let him go, but Luka made sure they would never forget what they lost. From his first game in purple and gold, Luka sent a clear message. He wasn't just adapting to a new team, he was taking over. His signature step-back threes, pinpoint passing, and ability to control the game made him the centerpiece of the Lakers instantly. But this wasn't just about offense. Luka shut down the critics who questioned his defense, reading plays, jumping, passing lanes, and proving he could dominate both ends of the floor. Every challenge thrown at him, physical defenses, hard fouls, trash talk, only fueled him more. The defining moment? A hard drive to the basket, clear contact, no whistle. Instead of stopping to argue, Luka powered through and finished the play. No complaints, no distractions, just a superstar locked in. Now, as he continues to shine, the Mavericks' mistake becomes even clearer. They didn't just trade Luka Dončić, they gave away a generational talent. And he's making sure the entire league knows it. His warm-up routine, there was no extra flair, no casual trick shots, just pure focus. He knew this was more than just another regular season game. This was personal. The moment the ball tipped, Luka put on a masterclass. Every possession, every decision, every shot was calculated. He picked apart the Mavericks' defense with surgical precision, exposing every weakness they had. Step-back threes over former teammates, laser-like assists to cutting Lakers, and fearless. Drives straight at the rim, Dallas had no answer. The crowd, once roaring for him, grew quieter with each basket. The same franchise that once hailed him as their savior was now watching him torch their team in a different jersey. Then came the dagger. Luka, isolated at the top of the key, took a deep breath, sized up his defender, and unleashed a cold-blooded 3. As the ball swished through the net, he turned to the Mavericks bench. No words, just a look that said everything. This wasn't just a game. It was Luka Dončić proving that Dallas had made the biggest mistake in franchise history. And the scariest part for the rest of the league? He's only getting started.
What their ceiling is in the Western Conference.
Oh, it's super high, and guess what? I'm going to take it a step further.
Oh, goodness.
Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are saving the NBA.
To respond, their former franchise player, the one they had once built their entire future around, was now tearing them apart, wearing the purple and gold. Possession after possession, Luka was relentless. He wasn't just scoring, he was orchestrating. Every time the Mavericks tried to double-team him, he found an open teammate. Every time they sent a different defender at him, he adjusted and exploited their weakness. Dallas had no answers.
Yeah, they looking like a real threat in the West because I don't see the teams in front of them with the experience outside of Denver because they got the best player in the league. You know, they're going to be a threat, and then, but see, Luka can cancel him out all across the board.
Then came the signature moment. Luka isolated at the top of the key, the shot clock winding down. He dribbled, rocked his defender to sleep, then stepped back for a deep 3. The crowd held its breath. Swish! As the ball dropped through the net, Luka turned and held up 3 fingers, right in front of the Mavericks bench. Dallas had made their choice. They had given up on him. And now, in front of the entire world, Luka was making sure they regretted it, controlling the tempo like a maestro conducting a symphony. Luka wasn't just outplaying the Mavericks, he was dismantling them piece by piece. His stat line? A jaw-dropping 42 points, 14 assists, and 12 rebounds. Every bucket, every dime, every rebound felt like another dagger to the franchise that let him go, and when the final buzzer sounded, Luka didn't need to say a word. The scoreboard spoke for him. The stunned faces on the Mavericks bench said it all. Their former superstar had just given them a performance for the ages, one they would never forget. As he walked off the court, Luka didn't celebrate wildly. No excessive gestures, no over-the-top reactions, just a cold, focused stare. The kind that says, "You did this, you made this happen." For the Mavericks, it was a nightmare. For Luka Dončić, it was only the beginning.